Hey gamers, thanks for tuning in. Today we're here to talk about the official announcement of the next installment in the Call of Duty franchise, Black Ops 3. Today to discuss that with me, I have Aussie Gamer.
G'day guys.
And Ybot.
How's it going, peeps?
So all three of us are Australian gamers and we're all very, very, very much into the COD franchise. We spent a lot of hours, a lot of days playing it. We had a lot of history in that game. So we wanted to have a chat with you about some of the things that we found out through the teaser trailer and some of the information that we have been able to piece together from the Snapchats from Call of Duty, and just our general opinions on why we think this could or could not maybe be the next big thing. So what you may or may not know is all of the hints that were hidden in the trailer. Now, to follow these clues took me a long, long time. So I went to the trouble of actually breaking it all down so that we could discuss it with you guys. And one of the first things that we need to probably cover is that there was an actual description update on the Call of Duty website for Black Ops 3. And this read, Call of Duty Black Ops 3 is the first title for next-gen hardware in the critically acclaimed Black Ops series. Developed by Treyarch, the award-winning creator of the two most played games in the Call of Duty history. I'll repeat that again, the two most played games in the Call of Duty history. Call of Duty Black Ops 3 deploys players into a dark, twisted future where a new breed of Black Ops soldiers emerges and the lines are blurred between your own humanity and the technology we created to stay ahead in a world where cutting-edge military robotics define warfare. With 3 unique game modes, campaign, multiplayer, and zombies, it provides fans with the deepest and most ambitious Call of Duty ever. So that in itself is a very, very, very bold statement, which is what we expect, right, guys? Like, we expect them to come out with this, we've just created the biggest and best thing ever. This is going to blow your mind. You're never going to want to play anything else but the next installment in Call of Duty.
Yeah, absolutely, Bella. And I have to say the expectations for a Black Ops game in the Call of Duty series is probably going to be the biggest ever, because let's face it, I think Black Ops within the Call of Duty franchise has absolutely excelled at being the best within its genre. So I'm really looking forward to this one.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, Black Ops 2 is where I got my first COD addiction for playing online, big time. And I have to say, there's something about it. At first, I didn't like it, but then it just, I don't know, it just grew on me, and I got addicted to it. So I'm a closet COD fan. So I just wanted to say that. So I love it. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I more often than not, see you playing Black Ops when I log on. So I know you're there.
I can't hide from you, Bella. I can't.
So the trailer itself, one of the most notable things that here when you're watching this is that it kind of takes you right back to where Black Ops begun. And that's because they start off with a few quotes, very, very iconic quotes from Black Ops 1, and then move into Black Ops 2. So the first Black Ops ones are, this should help you remember everything. Now, that came out of the reveal trailer for Black Ops 1. And then one of the most iconic ever, the numbers, Mason. What do they mean? That was from Jason Hudson in Black Ops 1. And then everything you know is wrong. And that's also from the trailer. And of course, you know, this is what Black Ops has been about. Like, yeah, everything we know is wrong. And we keep getting proven that everything we know is wrong. And I think we're going to see an even bigger evolution in Black Ops 3 from that. Because in the way that I see this, the way that the two have moved on from each other and the direction they're taking the third in, it looks like what we're actually going to now start to see is what the core of it was.
I think one of the really cool things about the Black Ops franchise is they can almost do pretty much anything they want with it, simply because they have that element of mystery in every single game. It's not like a linear World War game where they have to stick to script. These guys can kind of go all over the shop, and that's what they've done. And I think that creates that element of mystery that's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, look how much a big step it did from Black Ops 1 to Black Ops 2. I mean, look how much they've changed it and made it more advanced, really. They pretty much, it was a very different game from what I understand, more, you know, from what I can see, the different weapons, the feel. And I don't know, it just had a really good flow to it. Black Ops 2 had a really good flow to it. The kill streaks were fun, and the story was very different from the first Black Ops 1. So, yeah, I can't wait for Black Ops 3. That's all I can say. It's going to be very, very interesting.
Absolutely. So that's where they kind of cut off the Black Ops 1 quotes. And then they moved into a quote from Raul Menendez to Sergeant Frank Woods, which is your life will be consumed by absolute loss. Now, we know Raoul to be like one of the biggest, nastiest villains in Black Ops. So, yeah, that was something that really, when I heard that, I was like, yeah, I can see where they might be trying to tie something back in from the past here. And then we have, he doesn't need his own weapon. He has ours, which was Admiral Tommy Briggs. And then they finished up with, they will always need men like us, the iconic Sergeant Frank Woods. So they really set the scene there where it was moving from that kind of, setting the scene of, you don't know what's going on. We're trying to work out. We're trying to extract information from you. Moving through to, we know what's going on here and we know that we're going to sabotage things and this is how we're going to go about it. And then they finish up with this quote that none of us, apart from those who have been watching the Snapchats that came out from Call of Duty, have ever heard before, which is our greatest barrier is our own fear, our own doubts. The only thing holding us back is how far we're willing to go. So this, to me, sounds like we're not doing something that we've seen before. People are really concerned that we're going to have a new evolution of advanced warfare, but it's just going to be branded with Black Ops. That statement alone says to me they're not even going to touch on that.
I don't know. I think the way I see, sorry to cut you off there, Aussie Gamer, is they're pretty much, it sounds like, I don't know, cybernetics. So that's what I feel it sounds like. Well, we're going to have to make a cyber soldier. We're going to have to augment him and, pretty much like Deus Ex in a way. Rather than having a full exosuit, we're going to give this guy robotic arms and robotic legs, and he's always going to wear the exosuit. I don't know. That's how I would see it as, or pick it up as. It seems to fit that way, and that's where advanced warfare steps away from it, saying, no, we're not going to be cybernetics. We're going to give you an exosuit. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that, Ybot, too. And I know we were speaking about this off air earlier. It's kind of that evolution between the Black Ops series and Advanced Warfare, so that there is still some degree of linkage between the series, but we don't quite get the full exos, or at least that's kind of the direction I'm thinking that they're going to go in and give us some degree of what we had in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, because let's face it, a lot of people love that and think that's pretty cool. And I think just to go back to running on the ground, I think a lot of people would feel like they were losing something. So I think it's kind of a bridge between both worlds of that pure on-the-ground foot soldier versus that super future exosuit soldier. So that's where I'm thinking they're going to go, but obviously that still remains to be seen at this point in time.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you were keeping up on the Snapchats or, my every 32-second updates that I was putting out on Twitter, there were a lot of images that were coming out of those Snapchats that were these CAT scans, and there were a lot of augmented images there, and some things that look like mutated human X-rays. So the whole cybernetics things, mutating human cells, that really fits in. That linkage is right there. It looks real. So,
I agree, and I think there's still a bit of debate about what exactly that it's going to be, and I think you're on the right track. I think that feels like it suits the series more so than that full EXO Advanced Warfare feel. I don't think they're going to quite push into that level of that advanced future stuff just yet.
No, and I think that's why it started off with some tortured being eased into a state of hypnosis by Dr. Salim. Or Salim, I'm not quite sure exactly how we're going to pronounce his name, but I read it as Salim. I think that is where we start off, this poor tortured soul that's been through so much already in these different Black Ops wars or whatever, and he's been selected for this particular program. He's been through hell to survive it, and now Dr. Salim is there coaching him back, trying to help him find his happy place, trying to help him get his mind back to a state of ease so that he's actively useful as a soldier.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that leads me on to the coordinates that we actually found in that trailer that was released. So, and you'll be able to see a lot of this popping up on the screen as we're talking about it, but there were 3 sets of coordinates that came out of that particular trailer if you were quick enough to catch them. And one of them actually leads you to the 6th October Bridge in Cairo, Egypt, which is a commemorative bridge of the Battle of the Crossing. Now, this is a battle between Arabics and Egyptians. Dr. Salim is an Arabic name. I can see where this is tying in. Like, I'm wondering, are we going to be starting our campaign journey as somebody who's been through these kind of outrageous changes in a country like that where that kind of technology can be hidden and harnessed as far as, a storyline like that goes in video games. And we start our journey off there being counseled by this Dr. Slim.
So from in your knowledge and your experience, do you think that links to the two previous games? Because I actually can't see a direct link with anything there.
It's funny you bring it up. I have done extensive research. I've gone right back through all the different countries and staging points that Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 visit. I've tried to cross-reference them in any possible way that I can with the 3 locations that came out in the trailer. I can't find any linking.
So I guess that makes me sort of think, is it a direct carry on from the previous games, or is it something that actually operates in parallel to it? In terms of, is it an alternate story happening within the same timeline? Who knows? I guess that's the point I'm trying to get to. It could be happening alongside the main story, or is it part of the main story of Black Ops? Who knows?
Well, there is a linkage there. I'm just yet to see it. And the reason that I believe there's a linkage there is we have Sergeant Frank back. Like, we have him back. He's making YouTube videos promoting this, talking about how he's been in Black Ops 1, how he's been in Black Ops 2. He's there. He's promoting this. He even had the reveal date hidden in 3 of his most recent YouTube videos. There's got to be a linkage.
Yeah, well, I agree. There is got to be a linkage. You put a lot of effort into it, particularly with the Snapchat thing. They didn't tell anybody about that. It was only the Drifter found it in a stream that he started promoting. Then, of course, T. Martin jumped on the bandwagon. Then I think between you and T. Martin, you've gone NCIS on this whole damn Snapchat thing, and you've really pulled it apart. So I think you're out doing T. Martin almost, Bella. That's what I think you're doing. So keep it up. But I'm confused. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's just gonna. Yeah, I think they're gonna add another person who's tied with Frank Black. Sorry, not Frank Black. Well, with Sergeant, and work it out between the two of them. I think there's going to be another element there, and maybe he links the 2 stories together, and maybe to the third one. I don't know, like a mad professor type person. I don't know, because they can do that. Like Aussie Gamer said, they can do that. There's so much they can do, which is where you feel with the other CODs, it's a little linear. They have to go to a certain story, or you know what I mean? Like, oh, they're invading us, or they're doing this. Whereas in Black Ops, like Aussie Gamer said, they can do so much. So it'd be interesting to see how it does turn out. That's the thing.
Yeah. Look, especially when they come out, and one of the quotes that they've used from Black Ops 1 is, everything you know is wrong. So that means assume everything you know is literally wrong, and that the series could go in a whole new, different twist or turn. Who knows?
Oh, no, I completely agree with that statement. The reason why I feel like there's this unseen linkage is, like we said, Sergeant Frank Woods back making videos about the release of Call of Duty Black Ops. Had videos, 2 digits for each date that gave us the exact release date that Call of Duty have now confirmed is the day that they're going to be releasing full details about Black Ops 3. He's there. He's invested in it. Something's happening. Why are they bringing back a clean-cut Frank Woods, as we know him, as a long-haired larrikin with a 101 airborne hat on in one, and the next one I think he's got a 509 t-shirt on. Like, they're giving us all these hints to these different regiments that were involved in different things that are leading us towards different wars, different locations. There's stuff that ties in here. I can't figure out how yet.
Did you say 101? 101st, I think, from memory off the top of my head, is Airborne Rangers. Heavily involved in World War II, more importantly. But I think there's stuff, and so there could be a tie-in with that. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, it ties in somehow, but what they've given us outside of the trailer and inside the trailer, piecing it together, I'm sure the linkage is there, and I'm just not seeing it. But as you know, there was a 6-second Snapchat sent out where anybody who watched it, all they saw was these weird mutated CAT scan images. I pulled 13 different images out of that were soldiers marching, napalm bombs going off. I've dissected the shit out of this. I cannot work out what the link is. I just can't put my finger on it yet. So it's there. I just don't know what it is.
So what are some of the other locations that you discovered? So obviously there's that bridge, which means not a hell of a lot so far.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it gives us the Arabic tie-in for Dr. Salim, so that is kind of like important. Another one was a Newtown primary school in Singapore. Now, nothing else in Black Ops, as far as I can tell, has ever taken us to Singapore. But
Yep.
the only thing that I'm thinking that might be symbolic of is in one of those Snapchats. You remember we did see this image of a little girl with, curly locks that looks towards the camera and looks away again. Maybe this child goes to that school.
Could be. I mean, look, it's just all speculation at the moment, and as Aussie Gamer said, what do you think you might know could all be wrong.
That's right. Well, the first thing I actually thought
if
was...
you and T. Martin spent many hours into it, and it comes out completely different, like a game like Titanfall. Sorry, I find that awfully funny, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, he and I have very different ideas on things throughout the week. Even me and Tim Martin, both of those guys, like they did a great analysis and stuff, but I had a lot of different opinions, and I arrived at a very different place myself as well. So I guess it's just where the information takes us and how we manage to connect the dots. Everybody's going to do it in a different way. But the third place that we have, and I do not know how to pronounce this, but it's like Gefängnis prison, and it's in Zurich, Switzerland. And this is a place where people get sent that haven't been tried, so they're not sentenced to prison yet. They haven't been given their sentence, but they're held there. So it's basically a place where they hold innocent people for the sake that they're holding them. Like if we were to watch the movie The Rock, remember The Rock, Sean Connery?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. So that's like totally a place that they would have been holding Sean Connery.
Ah, sweet. So I guess that kind of gets wrapped up into the whole probably psychological component where, people get taken to a place with no charges, probably off the radar, tortured, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and then added some cybernetics, they attach a microwave to the bloke, and then you have Black Ops 3. That's added an interesting aspect to it because, definitely you could say where he got taken, where he got, turned into a complete nut job or turned into a cybernetic soldier. Like I said, Geez, you've really done your research on this, haven't you, Bella?
I have, and if you have a look on the map, like where the Philippines is to where Cairo is, it's a decent trip, but it's really not that far. So the linkage is right there.
Yeah.
There's only one decent sized trip across a portion of the Indian Ocean, and then 2 countries, and you're in Cairo.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's not that they're all close to each other. So they can all travel. I mean, this is the thing. I mean, I'm just saying it's going to be a very interesting story. I just hope they get somebody like Kevin Spacey back into the fold because he was brilliant in Advanced Warfare. I think that's what's trumped it. I mean, Kevin Spacey was brilliant in that. I think who could they put in as a special guest for Black Ops 3? Do you know?
Well, I have absolutely no idea, but who would I like to see? We were just discussing The Rock, so look, let's bring on Nicolas Cage. Don't you reckon he would be an awesome villain?
Nicolas Cage. Well, actually, yeah, he would. He's got those crazy weird eyes, which would work well on.
He'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think he'd be great. You could put him. Sean Connery would be even better. I don't know if they could afford it, but Sean Connery would be good. I mean, come on.
I get annoyed with his blasé way of looking at everything.
I'd hate to speculate. As long as it's not John Travolta, I'll be happy.
But then again, John Travolta could be a
Travolta?
great villain too. He did a great job in Swordfish. We are so moving off the subject right now. Let's get back on track. So,
yes,
one
please.
thing that pretty much everybody missed was, so as you watched the trailer, you kind of got the feeling that you could see arms forming, and you're like, this is going to end up being that very, very famous vision that we're used to in Black Ops with the soldiers sitting there with Mustang and Sally. And as it got towards the end of it, most people were saying, oh yeah, it's the soldier that's got Mustang and Sally. No, it actually wasn't. He did have Mustang, but where Sally should be was a knife. And on that knife, if you managed to catch it, were some Mandarin symbols engraved into it.
No, I didn't catch it.
Yeah, so the Mandarin symbols, and this is just using Google, which, as we know, is not particularly reliable when it comes to translating. But those Mandarin symbols, depending on which way you pop them in, equal 5, 10, and 4.
Okay.
That could be an order for a menu. That's what I'm saying.
Look, I'm not even going to get into what it could possibly mean. I mean, the possibilities are endless. But that's just something to be noted. That's something to look out for as more information comes out so that we know what is going on. Now, you remember that there was a lot of hype going around about Black Ops 2 getting an update. And, obviously that Snapchat started off from there. And then a couple of days later, you'd log in and the message of the day was and so it begins, I believe. And there was a picture of a lone pine tree in the snow with a blue background. And from that, they were able to pick up in the background through Photoshop that there was actually this trident symbol in the background. So that trident symbol was actually featured very briefly. You had to go through it frame by frame, which I did, unfortunately, for like over an hour this morning. But I picked it up. It's there. Yeah, it's there. Along with it, there's a lot of other different fractions, but we're getting onto that. There's all these different symbols. We're getting there. So anyway, the trident symbol is there, people. It's there. The trident symbol is a thing.
Okay, Bella, what time did you get up this morning to look for this trident symbol, and how much sleep have you had?
I only got out of bed at 2:50 a.m. and I will go to bed soon. It's 3:50 in the afternoon.
Okay. Yeah. Mhm.
So this is all being driven by coffee and Red Bull right now, right?
And
Medication.
Sour flavored Mentos. They're really good.
So I do see that trident symbol pretty clearly, obviously thanks to some really good freeze frame technology you've got going on there. But how long was it actually on screen for? Like half a second or less? Split second. Okay. So because when that guy forms, you can just see so much stuff, I guess, flying around the place. So to capture that, pretty impressive. Well done.
Yeah, cheers.
That is impressive. Obsessive, but impressive.
Right. So to encapsulate that so far, we've got 3 locations, none of which entirely make a hell of a lot of sense at this point in time. Plus a whole heap of symbols, which, are they related to anything we've seen before?
Well, yes and no. So that particular symbol, there is a if you for anyone here that wants to have a look at it, I'll link it in the description below. But I have written an article where it has a image of a actual, I guess it's like an award, an emblem. That's it, an emblem that you can get within the game in Black Ops 2, where it's a eagle and it's clasping a trident.
Okay.
Now that's actually a genuine symbol that was used by the US military, and was when they were discussing, I believe, I'm spitballing now, I should have this written down, but I believe this is when they were discussing nuclear testing or something like that. So that was a symbol that was used for that, and it was just developed on from there and used in different video games and stuff like that. So it does have a lot of symbology, which ties into some nuclear testing stuff that we're going to be discussing in a moment, and you'll see why that trident is kind of very, very important.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
So from there are a couple of other different symbols that have come up in there. There's this like fire kind of flame symbol. I've never seen it before. Where that comes from, it may be that it might be some different factions. So obviously, usually we're used to 2 factions that we play as in multiplayer. So that could be the other faction, my initial thoughts. And then that third one appeared. So I don't know what the hell's going on there. There's 3 different ones, and I'll make sure that I pop pics up during this so you guys can see it. So I guess that's just, there's no amount of speculation that you can go into here that is going to give you any kind of answer.
Absolutely. And you do wonder what they've sort of seeded in there just to throw people off the trail as well.
Yeah, and there's another, like, it's, you know how you see like the threads of letters and numbers that are going around in these big circles that are forming this person's body in the trailer?
Yep.
In one of the scenes, if you snap it at the right section, there is just this, I guess maybe to put it in context for the video, it might be a 3-inch long section of the arm, and it's all these really, really weird hieroglyphics. They're not Egyptian, they're not anything I've ever seen. I can't figure out where they're from. I'll keep working at it, I'll try and crack it, but they mean something. So there's a lot of hidden stuff there. Yeah, maybe. There's a lot of hidden stuff there that we're going to see as it comes along. And one of the freeze frames that I caught actually had 115 3 times in it.
115. Well, you got Halo, which is 117. Isn't 115 like a biblical thing? I'm just throwing that one out there.
In relation to Call of Duty, it's much more significant.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't have a clue. 115 could be somebody's address.
No, not quite. So 115 is basically our indication that, as we knew with Treyarch, we are definitely getting zombies.
Of course.
Isn't that some sort of reference to some sort of element or something in previous versions? Right.
Yeah, so 115 is what animate dead corpses. Thought it was a good idea to use element 115 for some type of nuclear warfare, and Yeah, so anyway, Bob's your uncle, we've got zombies.
Beautiful.
Uh-huh.
And if you think at kind of the default expectation of a Call of Duty these days, it has to include a zombies. So
Yeah,
that's
especially
probably. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, you're right. They're the heroes for zombies. There's no question about that. But I think it's now an expectation in a Call of Duty game that they have to have zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind playing a little bit of zombies here and there. It's not my favourite thing, but I appreciate the effort that goes into it, and it's always great. That's a lot of people. Well, there's two kinds of people: the people that play multiplayer and the people that play zombies. When it comes to COD, and Black Ops got them right on both times. You know, they've nailed it for that.
Yeah. And then there's a third type that'll just play either as often as they can because they love the shit out of it, which is me. I will quite happily any day jump on and play multiplayer or play zombies, especially when, like with Black Ops 2, for me, there are many, many different maps throughout zombies in the past that have been very iconic, like Shangri-La. But for me, Black Ops 2 with Mob of the Dead and Buried, the amount of stuff that you had to know to be able to traverse, to remember, the codes you had to have in the back of your mind to be able to enter them into these little portals, like ridiculous. It was just ridiculous. I loved it. It was like a massive, ever-evolving puzzle. It was amazing.
Yeah, well, it is good. Like you said, Mob of the Dead was amazing. The ads for it and everything. It was, like I have to say, you have to give Treyarch an absolute, gold medal for their advertising because they've nailed it. They've absolutely nailed it.
Is this all Treyarch do? I mean, is Treyarch just completely dedicated to Call of Duty and that's it? Or do they have anything else on the side?
No, they do some other games.
Do they?
Like?
That's what I'm thinking.
You want that off the top of my head?
No, I don't know. I mean, it's good to see they're changing the engine because they've been using the Quake engine since Black Ops 1, right up to Black Ops 2. So I'm glad they're changing the engine. I'm glad for that. But I don't know. I mean, I think they've got a media team just as big as their development team. I really do. I really do. They must be massive.
Absolutely, and this is definitely smart advertising. There's no question about that. It's building that momentum and that hype, absolutely.
They've got Draconis, they've got James Bond, Quantum of Solace, Limb from Limb, Max Steel, Minority Report, NHL 2K2, NHL 2K3, Nengo Hockey, like it goes on and on. So they're doing bits and pieces with other studios and a lot of other games.
Okay.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know that. I thought they just did Black Ops.
No.
But certainly that's what they're famous for, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, look, if there's three elements that I absolutely want in any Call of Duty game, it's a kick-ass campaign. Like, I do enjoy the campaigns in Call of Duty. Multiplayer absolutely is probably my request, and certainly just about the majority of players' request, I'd say, needs to be absolutely fantastic, and it usually is pretty solid. And then zombies, I think, for me, is a nice tack on, but I guess to your point, there's a lot of players who actually think it's their core element for Call of Duty. So, I think if anyone's going to do it well, Treyarch will do it well.
Yep, definitely.
Absolutely. And they've done a bang-up job of teasing the shit out of us over the last 3 days.
Oh, absolutely. Is there any intel on things like, are they going to use DirectX 12, Xbox exclusivity, timed DLC, all that sort of stuff? I mean, or is that just speculation still at this point in time?
Oh, no, they're definitely using Xbox. No, I'm kidding. No, there's none of that.
No, well, that's it, because, I mean, they're probably going to see what's happening with, because I've heard the rumour of late, just to give an example, is Mortal Kombat, when it's coming out, has Xbox exclusivity for League play or something like that, like for MLG, professional play. It's got to be on Xbox, not PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
So I think they'll be watching to see how that pans out, to see how they go, because let's not forget that there are a lot more PlayStation 4 owners than there are Xbox One owners. And we don't even know if this is coming out on PS3 or Xbox 360 either, or PC. Well, I'm pretty sure it's coming to PC, but I don't know. Is it coming out on the 360, Bella?
As far as I know, and from as far as my sources have told me, that this is meant to be a current gen only release. Yeah. I personally, though, don't believe that. I do believe that they are still going to be catering to the 360 and the PS3, contrary to what I'm being told.
I don't know, because there's a couple of... They
made an agreement last year that they weren't going to cut it off until the following year.
Okay,
if they renege on that, they're going to piss a lot of people off.
Yeah, no, they're not going to do that. And the thing is, too, MLG hasn't decided... Well, there's apparently they haven't even confirmed if there's going to be another COD Championships next year as well. So there's a lot of things up in the air. So, I don't know. I don't know if it will have DirectX 12. Oh, I'm hoping it uses DirectX 12, and I hope they use the current servers, the Asura servers, because the connection's not the best still. That's the thing that's going to make it work. It could be the best game on the planet, but if it doesn't have good connection, people just walk away. And I think that's what's happened with Advanced Warfare. A lot of people have just gone, nah, it looks great, it's good, better story, but, it's like COD Ghost with the connection issues. It's just crap. I'm not going to play it. They've lost a lot of people because of that. So until they get the connection sorted out and dedicated servers, which is what they really need to do, Activision need to do is get dedicated servers. COD will be dominating, but they won't because they're tight. And this is where Halo 5 will step in and kick butt with their dedicated servers. That's what they've got to take note of too, because let's not forget, Halo 5 is coming out this year, and if it does use dedicated servers like Phil Spencer has said, a lot of people are going to jump ship and go to play Halo. I can guarantee it, just for the connection issue. That's what I believe.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that being a thing.
Yeah. Well, it's always been the thing, isn't it, with COD? Like the connection, And it's because they're using old servers.
So players they tend to not take any responsibility on themselves to improve their own connection. Like, if you're going to jump in a lobby, and I do this all the time. This is why I cannot complain about lag myself. I jump in a lobby with people from various different states across Australia, on various different service providers, on different technologies to me. I have people from New Zealand in my lobbies. Some of us are running NBN, some of us are running just, standard copper lines. Like, if you really want to minimize that lag, you get teams together. Like, you can do it. I know it's a lot of pain in the ass to do it, but you get teams together of people who are running on the same technologies, who are relatively close in proximity to each other. And yeah, you can't just jump into standard multiplayer and jump into a game and expect to be able to find that kind of connectivity. But if it's really important to you, if you're very competitive, then you need to take that line of thought and go, well, there are ways I can improve this for myself. Maybe I should do that.
Why, yeah, but see, this is the thing, Bill, is a lot of people don't want to join teams. They just want to jump in COD and play the multiplayer. That's their major market.
I appreciate that. And yeah, it does suck the connection that they get.
It's not just us. It's also over in America and stuff like that. It's just one of those things. That's all I'm saying. They've got to start taking ownership for it, because companies which are a lot smaller than Activision have and do. So I'm just saying, there's no excuse. They earn so much money from Skylanders alone, let alone COD. It's ridiculous. Why can't they have their own servers? Because their current. Let's be honest here. You do know that they're not going to go with the Microsoft Asura service because they don't want to upset their other customers. Well, then if they're not going to do that, supply their own. That's the thing. They're not using the Asura service, so why don't they just use their own? But no, because they just want to take money and not spend too much more on connection, because we're all just going to keep on playing it. That's my only gripe with the Call of Duty series. That's the only gripe I've got.
I think it's they've got to the size they are though. Why? I think because everybody is just supporting them, and it's kind of like, well, until that model starts to break and crumble, they probably won't change a damn thing, because to your point, they're just raking in the cash.
Yeah, true. A lot of people are still playing World of War, aren't they, online, even here in Australia? So that just goes to show that, a lot of people, and Black Ops 1, a lot of people are still playing Black Ops 1. So you're right there. We're just going to keep them coming back for more.
So in terms of the actual big world reveal on April 26th, do we know much about that? Like, are they going to hold some sort of event, or is it just going to be an online YouTube, or more drip feeding of clues and little hints and tips along the way? I don't know. What have you guys been hearing?
Well, there'll definitely be a lot of big events. There'll be a massive reveal on the day. I've already booked the day off work, so you can be sure that you can log into Playback Gaming and you'll get all the links that you need if you're unable to be there live. You want to catch up on it later.
Yeah.
They will be doing a massive reveal.
It'll be Monday here, won't it? It'll be Monday?
It will be. As far as any actual details about what they're going to be doing go, they haven't said anything.
They always put on a big show, though. They always have some sort of celebrity come along and do a song, or whatever. They don't hold back, do they? They really.
Like Eminem for Ghosts. That was epic.
Yeah, that was. I remember watching that. I just came back from Europe and went, another COD. We'll see what it's like. And I went, oh, they really put a lot into it. They showed the improved graphics, yada yada yada. I mean, Battlefield people will criticise it, but it doesn't matter. What I'm trying to say is they don't hold back.
Yeah, that wasn't Treyarch though.
No, I'm just saying, Bella. I'm just saying they've always done big promotions. They've never held back. when
They
on the
support
day.
it, don't they? Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's going to be on buses for months.
Oh, it will be,
Absolutely.
and it's going to be fantastic. And like, there's another little theory that I have going on here, and
Yeah.
I don't know whether you guys are going to agree with it or not. But if you spend a bit of time checking out that map that I put together with all the locations of where I think that things are happening and why they are iconic.
Uh-huh.
So we've had a very good look at the different environments in the Snapchats, and we started off with this forest kind of view, and then we moved across to what kind of felt very Vietnam war-ish, and then we finished up with just pretty much always being in the snow. Now, if you had a look at all the snow images that I was able to capture, I mean, we have one with a cabin covered in snow in the middle of these big mountain ranges. We have trees that are covered in snow that are iconic to a particular country. Wolves and black crows, also iconic to a particular back country. We have a particular screenshot of I think it's a sunrise by the look of things. Could be sunset, but I think it's sunrise from the look of it.
Yeah.
And it's got this very, very mysterious blue background.
Uh-huh.
There's an explanation for all of that, I think. Now, when you have a look at what causes that kind of color blue sky, it actually turns out that it's a chemical reaction when lava hits water.
Oh.
So we have this blue image, which, you know, when you take it and you change the hue on it or you put it into Photoshop, has the name of Dr. Slim in the background. So obviously there's some connection between him and this other location. But when you go and have a look back at all these other things that I said to you felt like they were very iconic to a particular landscape, and then you have a look at how the latest one unfolded was with kind of like a nuclear explosion of some sort.
Uh-huh.
If we piece all of that together, all of this scenery looks like Alaska. And then you go and investigate it further and you're like, what causes that kind of blue sky? Volcanic eruption. Does Alaska have active volcanoes? Why, thank you for asking. It actually has an active volcano called Pavlov, which was literally only active to the point where it was emitting lava and giant clouds of ash last year.
Yeah, really. I mean, like, really. Was there an earthquake there last year? I mean, sorry, was it erupting? Was it active? Was it almost exploding?
Yeah.
Did you
then
say Pavlov? Did you say Pavlov?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the name of one of the characters?
Funny you should mention that.
As in, like, Pavlov's dogs, too? Have you heard of that theory?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Keep going.
And then we have the fact that
Yeah.
the US conducted underground tests of nuclear weapons in Antarctica from 1965 to 1971 as a part of the Vela Uniform Program. So you see how this all ties in.
Yes.
Yeah. And then if you got Nuketown as well, let's not forget Nuketown. I hope they bring another Nuketown map. Yeah.
Yes. As one of our members of the clan would say, Illuminati confirmed.
Oh, well, definitely you look at Treyarch. I mean, there's well, you look at the Treyarch symbol, it's very Illuminati-ish, the symbol in itself and the company. So they like this kind of stuff. They're really well into it, if you know what I mean. They love it. Yeah, they love it. Freemasons type symbols and all that kind of things as well. Aha!
Yes.
Which, as I was saying before, there were all these different symbols that, when I went through that thing frame by frame by frame by frame, there were so many different symbols that I could pull out of that.
Did you go by frame, Bella?
Toby, I don't want to call you an asshole, but you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and call you an asshole.
This is clearly the game before the game.
It is so the game before the game. And anybody who sits there and says, why do they do this and they're ruining the game and why can't they just wait for release? No. This is the biggest jigsaw puzzle ever as far as Call of Duty goes. Every year they give us a huge jigsaw puzzle, and those of us that know how to piece it together go out and we do the research. And it is entertaining. It is a game unto itself that you don't have to pay for, that you get to put together. If you keep laughing, I swear to God, I'm going to put an ace up your ass.
Sorry, because I'm just going to say, well, the whole theory is it's the birth of Kevin Spacey, which made Sledgehammer games for the Advanced Warfare. That's what the whole game's probably going to turn out to be like. Nothing to do with what you've just been saying.
But there's nothing to indicate exos. Absolutely nothing to indicate exos. Look at the pictures.
Exactly, that's what would make it even more funny. I know.
We're all just part of the marketing machine.
Yeah, I reckon we are. And that's why I try not to fall for it. I mean, T-Man, every video he's done this week is just this, it could mean this, it could mean that. And then I go on Facebook and Billy, your articles are bombarding me. I feel like I'm just going to go back to, I don't know, Tetris. Strike me up the wall. I mean, it's great. I think it's great. I think you've done way more effort and a lot more educated guessing than T-Man, because T-Man just puts it in. Well, guess what, guys? Look what this Snapchat does. Well, at least you've got a little bit of theory behind it. But my goodness, I would not stop laughing if it just turned out to be completely different from all the effort you put in. Sorry, Bella. I don't mean to beat you down or anything. I'll piss myself with laughter.
I completely expect my theories to be wrong. However, all the little bits and pieces that they've given us so far, all those things that I pointed out to you just before, where else on the globe can you put all of those elements together and come up with them all in the one country? Now, I almost had it as being somewhere else. I almost pegged it as being New Zealand. There was actually a part of a Snapchat where there's a lake in New Zealand called Lake Matheson, and it's down near Timaru, so that's in the South Island of New Zealand, and it's near Te Punamu. Please excuse me, Maris, if I'm saying that wrong. My apologies. But I think it's Westland Te Punamu National Park, and there's this beautiful lake called Lake Matheson. You have a look at one of these Snapchats that I have up in my updates on Playback Gaming. I've actually put up where you can see a picture taken of Lake Matheson smack bang next to this Snapchat image. They are freaking identical. So I thought, right, that's it. I've got it. This is part of it. It's going to be in New Zealand, or at least a part of the flashback's going to be in New Zealand. Went to my research. I found out that there's actually a volcano not too far from Lake Matheson called Mount Horrible. So I was like, oh my God, this is unfolding, and they have all the, the hills, and it snows a lot in New Zealand. This is it. This is where it's going to happen. But the thing is that all the active volcanoes are in the North Island of New Zealand. That volcano that's anywhere near Lake Matheson hasn't been active for 10 million years. So look, I've done my research. This is the only continent that I can pick up, that I can come up.
But it all comes back to that quote, everything you know is wrong.
But we didn't know about Antarctica.
But now you do it, it's wrong.
Because it could all be based out of Penrith. Everything's going to be out of Penrith.
Oh, look, I'm totally expecting me to be so far off the spectrum. It's not funny. But what I wanted to be able to do was bring that together for everybody, for them to have a think about it, to have a look about it, to see how I came to that conclusion and the tools that I used to piece it all together. And maybe somebody else will be able to take those tools and go, you know what? This actually should have directed you here, not there. And maybe they can take it and run with it and come up with another theory that is more plausible.
Yeah, well, look, you know what I absolutely love is the fact that they've gone and said, you know what, here's not just the trailer. We're not just giving you the trailer, here's what the game looks like. They're going, you know what, we're going to put a bit of effort into this one and get you guys to uncover some of this really cool stuff as things develop in the lead up to the 26th, which is pretty clever, let's face it.
It is. I mean, so many people talking about it, but it's not even advertised on what we would consider even what we call mainstream media, if you know what I mean, guys. Like, it's not even like
it's on
general public
gaming. That's mainstream media. Shut up.
Okay, sorry. Well, all right. Well, you know what my theory could be? It could be 115 exo zombie sheep from New Zealand.
That I guess, without knowing the exact mechanics of the game, could be a possibility. Highly improbable, but definitely
not. Special guest Shaun the Sheep will be in it, and I can't wait. I'll be excited for that. Shaun the Sheep in Black Ops 3 will be great.
Now, not to take everyone in a sort of a really weird direction, but why, and I know you probably don't want to talk about this today, but why Black Ops 3, then all of a sudden Gears of War 3 almost in the same week of conversation?
Well, okay. Well, my theory is Gears of War 3, that we're going to step up, and the people at Black Tusk Studios are going to step up for E3 coming out. There's a 3 on it. Microsoft's own Gears of War now, where Black Ops is multiplayer. So Microsoft want to try and cash in on it as well, and keep some people to go to the Xbox One rather than staying with the PlayStation 4 or something else. So who knows? Who knows? They're just competing against each other. I mean, 2 completely different studios. One advertises like you've just seen, like nothing else. Has been pretty much since Ghost. Like, you know, they have Treyarch put up new camos when Ghost was out. So they've been hammering in and hinting about the next one coming out here and there for the last year or so. Whereas Black Tusk don't say anything. Pretty much in the past they haven't said anything up until about 2 or 3 months before the game's released. So that's why a lot of Gears people are getting quite excited, because recently it's popped up in an official Xbox YouTube video, isn't that right, Bella? Of a clip of Gears of War 3. Gears of War 1, sorry.
No, Gears of War 3 launch night.
Ah, that's right. Yes, that's it. Sorry for referring. So it's the launch night. So, geez, I went to one of those. Gosh. Oh, the memory. So beautiful. So I guess that's probably why. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to learn from Treyarch how to advertise and get the mystery going in the gaming. I mean, everybody can learn. Everybody can learn from these guys. I'm telling you now. Apple can learn from these guys. Coke can learn from these guys. I thought the whole Snapchat thing was absolutely brilliant. They could have done the usual banter and probably cheaper way of doing it, but they took a bit of a gamble. They probably thought, maybe, seriously, probably some people wouldn't have noticed Snapchat for the first couple of days, they probably thought, or they could have ended up that way. But no, they noticed it within, they reckon, the first, I don't know, half an hour of it being out, and that's when Drifter and all those people jumped onto it. So, they're pretty smart, and I think I can't believe how clever it is. I really can't believe how clever it is. I think everybody should learn from this type of advertising. They really can. It's unbelievable.
Absolutely. And what are we expecting in terms of release date? Like, it'd have to be, late October, November?
Second Tuesday of November.
Yeah,
it's
there you
the
go.
same every year, isn't it? Yeah, every year is it with COD, Bella?
Second Tuesday of November.
Okay, so that...
Although Advanced Warfare strayed from it slightly, but yeah, usually second Tuesday of November.
Yeah, so we've still got some life left in Advanced Warfare, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the servers are at least have 6 people in them right now, so you could probably get on and have a 4v4.
Actually, the connection wasn't too bad this morning, Bella, so I can say the Advanced Warfare was pretty good.
I do enjoy Advanced Warfare. I think it's great. I think it takes a lot more skill than what people are used to trying to adapt to not just running and shooting, but now you've got to run, shoot, jump, dash. Like, it does take a lot more concentration and a lot more understanding of the mechanics of the game. So I can get why people who, I don't know, maybe just like to find a corner, or perhaps like to lay down and hug the ground, or the tree huggers, or even the snipers. I can see why they probably hate the shit out of Advanced Warfare, because it's fast-paced, it's moving all the time, it's evolving, you've got to be keeping up with it. The spawns aren't using the GSP, so the global spawn positioning algorithm that we're used to from previous CODs. So spawns are all over the shop. And that's because it's moving too fast that they can't have an algorithm like that running. This game is for people who have to concentrate.
And this is the risk for Call of Duty Black Ops 3, is how do you take something that was that fast and then slow it down, bring it back to normal Call of Duty pace and not alienate that new generation of Call of Duty players that's fallen in love with exosuits.
See, I think that's where the Cybernetics is going to come into it. They're removing exos. Nobody wants exos, apparently. I don't mind exos. I think that they were good. Although I do like the traditional Black Ops as well. Like, I played 4 hours of it today. It's fantastic. I love it.
Well, I think sorry to interrupt you. The other thing is too, what people don't point out is in Advanced Warfare, you can go up more higher levels. It's not, the maps aren't so as linear as other COD maps, if you know what I mean. There's places to jump up and higher and stuff like that. That's what I'm saying. Like Titanfall.
Yes, and a lot of people forget that you can actually play. I know people don't get cranky at me for pointing this out to you now, because if you checked your game modes, you could have known this many months ago. You can play classic, meaning no exos. You don't have to play with exos. It's your choice to do so. So don't bitch about it.
Exactly. Didn't they come out with launch though? They had that. Exactly.
Classic mode.
I know. Well, this is the COD community we're talking about, Bella. Sorry.
How many people are playing classic mode though? Why have Advanced Warfare if you want to play classic mode?
So we've probably got, I don't know, one classic.
Playing his own.
Sitting there refreshing his search. Going, please, anybody?
I hear so many commentators just go, just wish to go back to the old COD, wish to go back to the old COD. It's like, well, you know what, ain't going to happen, buddy. People want to change it up a bit and make it more different, People whinged about the snipers, so they've controlled that, in my view, with Advanced Warfare. But those people whinging about the snipers now whinging about, you get killed everywhere in Advanced Warfare. I don't find it that hard a game. I quite like it. I think it's a very good element. It's very enjoyable. I don't know, it's maybe because I came from the Titanfall, and I really like Titanfall. which I recommend is another game that everybody should really get into religiously. So, I don't know. I think Advanced Warfare was great. I can't believe people whinge about the Exos. I think the abilities, everything about it, even to watch it in MLG makes it a hell of a lot more fun. I love it.
Yeah, watching COD Champs this year was awesome.
Oh, watching Ghost was boring. Oh my gosh. No wonder Nate shot retired. Oh, he aged, man. They all aged playing COD Ghost. Can you imagine that? Oh dear. Anyway, that's my say. That's my thoughts.
Well, I think that pretty much wraps up all of the theories, the myth busting, I guess, guessing, for lack of a better word, that we can do on any of the information that has come out over the last 48 hours about Black Ops 3. It's great that they finally actually came out and told us that it's been Black Ops 3, because, God, I've been sweating on letting people know that for days now. It's like, I can't tell you. I really want to, but I can't.
No, that's good. That's good.
It's good to be able to openly be able to go, yeah, it's Black Ops 3.
Hey, look, I don't know about you guys, but it's a definite day one purchase for me. I mean, regardless of what the reveal looks like, I think I'm going to buy it blindly,
it would want to
probably.
be because you're in my clan, and I expect you there day one.
Yeah, I think, look, I'm going to have to say, I got one of those Black Ops 2 supply drop thingies, very good deal on eBay, and I have to say, actually, no, I got it from a mate in EB Games, and I was impressed how it was done, so definitely a pre-order and a day one purchase for me as well.
Oh, that supply drop, how good was it though? And the quad rotor, it was fantastic.
I know, when you unpackage it, you just wanted to throw a smoking canister down just to feel like you're in the game.
I'm actually surprised Call of Duty or Activision don't have, the Call of Duty subscription where day one it just starts downloading.
Well, they probably will, and you just give them that idea, mate. So good on you. They found another way to get money out of us. I mean, donate some of your blood and you'll get this special DLC, and people will do it.
Absolutely.
They will do it.
Yeah, well, I've always had an issue with the fact that we can't pre-download our DLC.
Yeah, true. But they're probably still working on the DLC though, Bella. That's the thing,
But it's there. The mechanics of it is there.
Yeah, true. Maybe they just want to see if there's any kinks in the game, remember?
No, what they want to do is they want to eliminate the fact that somebody's going to pre-download it early, find a way to get into it, and expose it and leak it.
Okay. Yeah, true. Very, very true.
Someone will always find a way to do that.
Yeah, there are people out there who just want to hack and troll, and they just want to make life very difficult for these big companies. You're right. Very, very true, Bella. I didn't think of that.
Well, I guess that brings us to the conclusion of the Black Ops 3 wrap-up.
Yeah, are you going to finally get some sleep, Bella?
I'm probably going to go play a little bit more Black Ops 2.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, maybe just 3 or 4 hours. But then I'll go to bed.
All right, well, you
I
get some
stop
sleep.
consuming sugar about now, so I should be fine for about 9, 10 o'clock tonight.
Oh, my gosh. Well, good on you, Bella.
Yeah, no worries, guys. Look, thank you very much for your time today. It's been great having you here. And anybody who has any more questions about any of the things that we raised, if you have any other theories, if you heard information that maybe I don't know yet that would put other things in perspective and blow my theories out of the water, please let me know. I want to be proven wrong. I want you to give me information that I don't have, because I want that information. So please put it in the comments section below. Thanks, everybody.
No worries.